New Zealand National Standardbred Yearling Sale, February 13 through to 17, but more importantly, 15 through to 17 is the Christchurch division. I'm catching up with Mark Smith and John Stephen from the SBSR group, I suppose. Are you a group or an organisation? What do we class ourselves as, gentlemen?
I think we're a group.
A group, yeah.
You're a group, very good. SBSR stands for Southern Bred Southern Reared. Something I imagine you guys are pretty proud of. The thinking behind the name, I think it's a great name when you really know what it actually stands for. You take a lot of pride in the horses that are born and reared in the area where you guys are.
Well, we do, and it started about 20 years ago. Initially, it was just to try and line up some yearlings at the boxes at the sales so that people could recognise that all us southern guys were sort of working together, and it started from there, and it's grown over the last 20 years to be doing interviews with Kemp's Comments. We're sponsoring races. It's really become a real brand, and their results over the last few years have just gone skyward. So it's exciting to be part of.
I would imagine initially, and there's a bus trip, and I'm very jealous that I can't get there with all the studs on it and all the rest. But it must have just been initially to get people lured into being aware that you guys did have quality horses bred down there, and to be able to get the word out a little bit.
Yeah, our tour's been going for about probably as a bus tour, probably for about 15 years. And initially it was the flyers are just mailed out to people, but we got bums on seats, and we get people down here. Like 3 years ago, we had about 22 on the bus. Last year we had about 44. This year we've got a full bus of 54. And when we were ringing the buyers this year, they were just going yes straight away. It's held in high regard, and they're busting themselves to get on the coach because they know the quality yearlings that we have to parade to them. And this year we've got approximately 68 quality yearlings to show them on the 8th and 9th of February this year.
You need to have a word to your Prime Minister to let me come in, and I'll actually have the camera going behind and being able to showcase them. It's a bit frustrating that for a lot of the Australians that they can't get across there, and that's one of the ideas of this is to be, I suppose, raising awareness for the Australian market that the sale is still going ahead, and you guys definitely want Australian investors to invest in your product, don't you?
Oh, most definitely. We've gone all out and taken extra photos, most of us this year, to show legs, knees and hocks and what have you, over and above the usual side-on shots and head shots we've done in the past. Our video's got a bit more extensive this year. It's going to be quite exciting seeing that going up the next few days. And we could book you a seat on the 2025 trip if you like. It's fairly full going forward.
I'll take you up on that. I'll have to chase up a few other people to get me over there, and it'll be fine. There won't be a hassle at all. It's one of those things I'd love to be able to get across here. I think a lot of people would, and there's a lot of Australians that would normally get across there as well, and they won't be able to this year, which is a bit probably frustrating. And I suppose, is it a little bit unnerving for you guys, being where you are situated, that the Australians can't get across there?
Yeah, we are a little bit worried about that. We've already been told by NZB they've got a very good, when it comes to auctioning on that particular day, they've got a really good platform, and they've used it a couple of times. They use it at their ready to runs for the galloping sale, and it's been very successful. And they trialled it at the weaning sale. It was actually the Gavel House site then, but it's got better, and they were quite surprised. They got 30 or 40 new Australian buyers looking at the weanling and mixed age sale. So the Australians are aware that that platform is there buy the horses on.
I had one issue with that Gavel House sale thing. I was trying to work that day, and to be able to work and watch yearlings going through the sale ring at the same time, it was quite off-putting. I couldn't concentrate on what I was meant to be doing. It was very captivating, I suppose. It sort of, you had to keep watching it, which is really exciting. And this year is going to be a different format. And I'm going to catch up with Cam Bray. I think they've got their thoroughbred sales next week. But I will be catching up with Cam Bray to explain exactly how it's all going to work from the New Zealand standardbred sale complex point of view. But today we're going to, I suppose, cap off on a few of the horses that you guys have bred over the year, but also highlight a few horses. But we'll come back in about 10 days' time as well ourselves and try and find some diamonds in the rough or something along those lines. A few of the horses from all the studs and all the participants involved in the Bred Southern Reared organisation and highlight a lot of these horses, because today we could end up talking for over an hour if we're not careful, going forward. So we want to be able to make sure we can showcase these yearlings, like I said, in about 10 days' time.
Yeah, it sounds good. Thanks. Yeah.
Yep. Some of the farms that are involved in it, some of the names are very interesting. A lot of the Australians would know about it. Have Time Breeding, that's one that I haven't heard of before.
That's run by Murray Little, and they've got a mare that raced in Australia this year. She's called Have Time, and she won a group race. And Murray's been breeding probably consistently for many years, and he's situated out at a reedy beach, so the place is nice and dry. It's pretty windy, but so he's been in the breeding game for quite a while. Yes, and he produces some nice horses.
It's an interesting name. Obviously, he must have decided, well, I've got a bit of time, so I'll start breeding, and that's where it's come from there. A name a lot of the Australians will know is Bodine Breeding. They've been sending horses over here for a long time, or selling horses over here for a long time. They must be a large enough group, are they?
Yeah, Dave and Dawn Kennedy, their biggest claim to fame is the Mighty Quinn. So everyone over there knows him. All right. And Bodine Boaz was following along not far after him. They've got some really lovely photos up of their draft this year, and one of their top vendors.
Yeah, the Mighty Quinn. I didn't realise that. White Stables is another name that I see a lot in the breeding over here in Australia.
They've just recently they've probably been around a wee while. That's Tim Whitey's apparel and his partner. They've been preparing horses. They actually prepared American Dealer for the sales 2 years ago. So he's been a group winner here in New Zealand, and he has done very well, that horse, and they've got a fair enough. They're building their numbers up as the years go along. So they're a very important part of our SPSR group as well. Yes.
And one of their highlights today is number 135, and that's the Majestic Sun colt, trotting colt out of One Over Kenny. It's a full brother to One Over the Moon, and half brother to Ultimate Stride. So all the Australians know about Ultimate Stride.
So there's no photos up just yet of that one. So I've just put the slide across the bottom just so people are aware of it. Keep an eye. The website's there for the New Zealand. It's actually at www.nzbstandardbred.co.nz. That's lot number 135. Beautifully bred. One pedigree on the page. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? And it's such, and all it has is G1. I don't know what this G1 means, but there's just G1s everywhere on that same page.
Well, when you've got a page like that, someone's going to get their checkbook out and have a few extra noughts on the end, because that's it in terms of trotting. She's outstanding, that mare. She was outstanding on the track, first trotter in New Zealand to win $1 million, and what she's doing in the broodmare paddock is very, very good. So, he's definitely going to be, and I think he's the first lot in Christchurch up for the day in the trotting section. So he'll kick the sale off with a bang.
Yeah, he's a full to 1/Moon, I think. He's a full brother, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's
Yeah.
there could be a lot of Australian interest in that bloke as well. Majestic Sun just does a great job. I don't know how he goes over there in New Zealand, but here in Australia, he just knocks up winning quality races. He does a great job all the time. That's Majestic Sun, I must say. That was Michelle Craig, was that? No, that was White Stables, was it?
Yes, White Stables.
I got myself a bit confused. I want to make sure I don't lose my track of train of foot. Michelle Craig Breeding. It's a name that I haven't heard of.
Michelle, she's been a lot of good trotting blood. She's got there. She had
Renee's May.
Remiz. Yeah, thanks, John. Yeah, Remiz May. He won the Breeders' Crown in Australia,
Yep.
And also just recently she's had Leaf Stride. He's won a couple, but she does very well with her trotting bloodlines. And she's probably been breeding for probably longer than us, probably around about close to 20 years, I think. So she does 3 or 4 each year and does a very good job. Yeah.
Price Bloodstock is a name that I have heard of before. I'm not 100% sure who they are or the likes, but it's another name that I have heard of before.
John and Katrina, they live at Winton, which is about 20 miles north of here, and of course their pin-up boy is Chicago Bull, and he doesn't need any explanation in Australia. He probably won 3 or 4 here in New Zealand, and then he went ahead and with Gary Hall in Australia, he's just done a fantastic job, and unfortunately, he's just done a fantastic job. And when he came over here in New Zealand, he injured himself, unfortunately, but he's gone back there and just proved he can just keep on winning group runs and doing a great job over there.
The Australian,
and they've got a
sorry. No, I'll actually whack him up. Lot number 315. We've actually got a slide of his.
Yeah, 315. Yeah, thanks very much. 315. Yeah, so there's a full brother in the sale called Chicago Bear, and you have a look at the photo. He's a stunning, absolutely brilliantly black, shiny colt. He's outstanding, and I mean, you have a look at the photo, and you're going to go, wow. I mean, they'll be all waiting for lot 315 to come in the sale ring, and his full brother is also racing around Australia. He did start his racing career here in New Zealand under Ray Green, but he's been now since exported to Australia. He's called Perfect Stride, and just in the last 10 days, he won the Cobram Cup Group 3. He won that, and he's been group placed probably 3 or 4 times, and his current winnings are about 236,000. So he was a $190,000 purchase 2 years ago. So he's paid back his purchase price too. So yes, I think they'll be waiting for him to come into the ring, and he's an outstanding individual, that horse.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think he won the Victorian Derby. I think he was the horse that won the Victorian Derby last season as well. So, and he's a little ripper. He loves speed and can sit on speed, a little bit like Chicago Bull, sit on the speed. And so a lot of Victorians will be well aware of both those two horses now because of Anthony Butt moving his stables here to Victoria as well just very recently. So that's as well. Shard Farms. There's a lot of horses get over with the Shard name, Smiling Shard and the likes. It's a name that we recognise quite a lot.
Yes, it's been a great journey, and Debbie and I, we've been breeding for 20 years. We started off with a couple of mares and around about 2000, and we were, and we took our first lot through the ring, and we got 10,000 for them, and then we went in and invested in a mare, and we managed to we bought Sly Soak, and then she had Sly Shard, and then as you know, the story just goes on from there because she's been absolutely fantastic and just done a great job with her. But we had a little bit of course, about trials and tribulations. She's actually on an ET program, and she was involved to Captain Crunch. We got a phone call 2 days ago from the stud saying her surrogate mare has absorbed the embryo. So I think she's telling us that she's getting towards the end of her breeding career, but we've got 3 daughters out of her, so it's we're lucky we've got 3 daughters, because I think she's probably heading towards the retirement the paddock. Yes, but I'll just sorry. Paul,
I was about to say, it's the highs and lows of breeding, isn't it? I mean, you've got to enjoy it. That's
and
for
then,
sure.
Of course, we bred and sold Smiling Chardonnay. He is our pin-up boy. He won $1 million. He won the Breeders' Crown in Australia as a 2-year-old, and also and then we raced Pemmon and Shard. She won 11 races and won $250,000, and her first 2 foals have really put Shard Farm on the map too. The first colt sold for 170, and then we sold the filly full sister last year for 280,000. So that was a very special occasion, that one. So yes, it's been exciting. And do you want me to just highlight a couple we're preparing here, Paul?
If they were on the condensed sheet that we had,
yeah. So we're preparing a horse that everybody's familiar with, this family. He's called Share a Dream. He's an Art Major colt out of a Christian Cullen mare, Follow the Dream, but it goes back to the Amazing Dreams family. And just recently, she's just doing a fantastic job. Of course, you all know she won the Northern Derby, and then on New Year's Eve she.
Just one sec, Mark. What lot number?
It's lot 344.
Oh, there's no photo for this one either. So now I know who to pick on for no photo. No photo being up. No. That's okay.
There's not, unfortunately. No, but there should be a photo up in the next day or two, and the video as well. But he's this colt. He looks like he's going to run early, and he's got good joints, and he's straight, and he's well conformed, and he looks like he'll be like the rest of the family and do really, really well. And I'll just quickly go to one of our guys that we've prepared, one of our ones. He's called the Dalton Shard, lot 277. There is a photo of him up. He's a Mickey colt out of a Christian Cullen mare, and he's a good-natured horse, no fuss Charlie. He's athletic, and he's, we reckon the Aussies could be probably seriously looking at this guy, because a couple of his progeny are already running around there. We've got Burley Shard over in Western Australia. He's won one already as a 2-year-old. And also Cracker, he was known as Cracker Mower in New Zealand when Robert Dunn had him. He won about 4 or 5 of him. Then he went to Australia, and he's known as Cracker Star over there. He's retired now, but he won over 100,000 in total, but 90,000 in Australia. So I think people will be looking at that for their Australian market.
He's a lovely colt. He's very relaxed in the photo. You can see he's just standing there quite relaxed and taking everything in. He hasn't got his head right up as high as some of the others, but just enjoying enjoying himself. Macca Lodge. Who is Macca Lodge, guys?
Oh, Macca Lodge is the biggest breeding farm south of the Waitaki. They basically get the majority of us send their mares there to get foaled down and back and foal. He's got access to basically all the stallions in the world that are available to New Zealand, and they've been going for a good decade or so now, and do a great job for us all. And they prepare some yearlings for the sales too, and they've got a nice draft there, which we'll probably focus on those on the next round.
Next week as well. I'm going to skip my next one.
Yeah.
J&A Me, when I got the email from you guys and it had me with a couple of lot numbers underneath it, I was like, this is one of either Mark or John. I'm not sure which one this was, but it's actually not. That's their surname, M-E-E.
Yeah, that's Graham and Ian up in Wingatui in Dunedin. That's our last stop before we put the borers back on the plane to fly to back to their homes. They've been in the industry for forever, and Graham's a legend at getting horses done up and has produced some very good horses over the years from the sales drafts that he's put up. There's some nice stock there again too.
And the last one, which I actually skipped over on purpose because it's the second last stop for your bus trip. But Arden Lodge, John, I reckon you've got a little bit of an understanding of Arden Lodge, but you may or may not be aware. I was fortunate enough to have Arden Rooney here for probably the last 2 years trying to keep him at the races, I suppose, because he had quite a few injury issues. But I'm actually rapt to have met now. So I've met the proprietor of where Rooney started his journey from. So yeah, you guys have been here, and you got plenty of horses over here in Australia racing all the time with the Arden moniker.
Yeah, well, I'm second generation. Judy and I've got things humming along at the moment. We've got 12 in the sales to produce Arden Rooney to go along with all those other Bred Southern Reared millionaires is pretty special. And I knew that you were one of the rehab guys, being Grant's brother, and it's been quite exciting following his journey since, being the hero ambassador that he is, which is a great thing. But he seems to have gone a bit quiet in the COVID times that we're in, so not so handy to roll Rooney up to a crowd just now.
I reckon Roons would be chewing the timber off anything there. I think he loves attention. He's a beautiful, he was a good horse, but he was a beautiful horse as well. He was a horse that any person that came, I mean, the amount of people that took selfies with him, they were like, oh, wow. So they took a selfie with him because they knew who he was. And I think we just forget that with selling horses, I suppose. We've got to remember these champions. But I think once they took a selfie with him, they're like, wow, how cool's this horse? Like they stand there and just pat him and he just loves the attention. And I think that's one of the cool things about standardbred horses that we probably miss sometimes, and being able to sell and showcase these horses, which is what Bred Southern Reared are trying to do, is raise quality horses, but horses with character, and showcase our industry in a great light.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and there's a lot of things around at the moment that are for the life after racing and everything that's going on. So it's great to see a lot of horses that have raced here in the past turning up, winning shows and things all over the countryside. So it's a good part of it. But lot 288 is the filly from here that we thought we'd highlight today. There's only 13 Betters Delight fillies in the sale, and this is the only one out of a group winning mare in Christchurch. And we're pretty proud to be offering her first foal of a Group 1 winning mare. So
looks to have the typical Betters Delight deep shoulder too, by the looks of her, John. Like the way she's standing there on that shot there. That I try to learn what people look for in some horses, but I think most of the Betters Delights seem to have big deep shoulders, and she definitely is thrown to that. Yeah,
I think it's been said that the black Betters Delights that aren't too big seem to be the ones that are, in general, some of the best ones. So I guess that's just someone's opinion, but time will tell. But interesting times.
Absolutely. I will say Roons was a very big, plain sort of bay horse. So I don't think it always works that way as well. We had a couple of other lots to showcase. I think it was 261. Did we cover off on 261?
261 is from Denario Breeding, Mark and Pauline O'Connor down at Invercargill. And it's out of a rock and roll Hanover mare called Want a Piece of Me. And she's a half sister to Chevy Stinging, who was once, not very long ago, the fastest mare in history in America. And her claim to fame now, after she won 800 grand, I might add, she's the dam of an always been Mickey colt called Perfect Sting. And he's won $500,000. He's a top colt up there on last season, and he's just won the Dam Patch 2-year-old of the year.
In America?
So, in America. If anybody's wanting something that's the closest thing to the hottest thing on the planet, that filly's got to be it. She's just, she looks gorgeous, and I don't know. They're very, very lucky to have a mare like that in the brood mare band at Denario. I'll give you the tip on that.
Just looking at the photo I had up there too, she's big between the eyes, big between the ears. She's got a lot going for her, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she's built very strongly, and to be out of a half sister to Perfect Stings mum, that's pretty special for New Zealand to be able to offer something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. There was a couple others, John. I had them in an order, but I'm actually not sure which ones we have covered off and which ones we haven't, so I might rely on you. 288, I think we did we or not?
Yeah, 288's the one out of Arden's choice, the Better's Delight filly.
Yes.
Yep. And 357's the other one we're doing.
Yep.
And she's a Captain Treacherous from Cheer the Ladies family.
And there's a lot of...
you got her up there?
Yes, yeah, got her up there too now, and she's a lovely striking filly, isn't she?
So she's from the Bodine draft from this year, and when it comes to fillies in that family, it's a real fillies family. Spanish Armada's been one of our best fillies of the last few years here, and Cheer the Lady was she a Breeders' Crown filly, and Australians definitely know about her. And very, very, very good looker. Captain Treacherous is hot stuff, so she'll be in high demand.
Absolutely, Captain Treacherous. He's in real good demand, that's for sure. So you've got a very diverse draft. These ones we've picked out have actually been, I suppose, ones that showcase what you guys are able to do and the quality of horses that you can breed. That was one of the reasons we didn't want to go for too long, because we didn't want people to be tuning out of us when we're getting all the other lots going. But we will be showcasing quite a big draft. I think you've sent through about 22 yearlings all told, less this 7. So there's about 14 to go up next, or in 10 days' time. We'll showcase those, plus any pedigree updates and anything that has changed going forward in that time leading up to the sale. We want everyone to go to the website, all the W's. I left the W's off on the website address underneath, which is annoying, nzbstandardbred.co.nz, to click on all the photos. And as you guys said, the photos are sensational. Front aspects, side aspects of legs, and the videos coming up. I know there's been, I think it's Andrew Fitzgerald's been doing a stack of work with your videos going forward, so that everyone's on an even playing field. I mean, you Kiwis can get there to the farm and have a look, but the Australians are able to do that. Is there the Australians are allowed to contact the studs directly? You guys encouraging people to get in touch with you guys direct?
Absolutely. In the book, it's got everyone's cell phone numbers under the lot numbers, and if they want individually ring up and discuss our individual horses, we're absolutely open to any sort of communication like that. And on our tour, we've got Lindsay Colwell, who is actually a very astute vet from Canterbury. So she is actually coming on our Southern Bred Southern Reared tour. So she's on the bus, and that's Michael House's partner. So if you need to get hold of her, everyone probably knows Michael House and that, but you can contact Lindsay Colwell, and she will inspect all of our yearlings and do reports for anyone who needs to know. Yes.
Yep. Which is
talk to NZB. Cam will steer you in the right direction. Yep. If there's any questions that you want to ask of NZB, it won't be a problem.
Yep, that's exactly right. Cam's been sensational to deal with. So have you guys, and I think everyone has. And it is changing times. I've had to introduce both of you guys to Messenger. This is your first official video conference calls on Messenger. So you've done a good job, the pair of you. You try to play your poker face there, John, and not give up that it is your first time on it. One of the names I wrote down just as we were going through it is Emilio Rossetti and Mary. They're big buyers. Getting the big buyers from Australia to be aware of the New Zealand sale, has that been a challenge that you guys are aware of as well?
Well, I think we're leaving that to NZB, really. They'll be doing their darndest, talking to them, and they'll know people that are on the ground here that are doing work for them on the ground, I'm sure. And come sale day, they'll be, Jean was bidding on bought some young stock at the Wheeling sale back in the winter. So they'll all know how to go about what they want to do. So I don't see that being an issue.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. I've really appreciated this, and I just highlight what SBSR stands for. Follow it on Facebook, Southern Bred Southern Reared. Start typing it in and it'll come there. Some of the photos you guys have put on the Facebook page are sensational. There's a lot more photos going on that are also on the website, so make sure you go to Southern Bred Southern Reared on the Facebook page and follow it there. But keep in touch and keep looking at the Standardbred nzbstandardbred.co.nz website just for all the updates and all the videos coming up. And I'm sure Mark Smith will get that one of his that hasn't got a photo or a video up. It'll be up very shortly, I would imagine. 344, Mark, will it?
Absolutely. We had a brilliant week last week. We've gone from the mid-20s for 5 days in a row or 6 days in a row. We got a photograph from the other day, but it was just too windy and too dangerous. And now we've got 6 degrees and rain. So the trials and tribulations of southern weather.
I'm sitting here with a fan and shorts, and I know I caught Mark before with a handful of wood lighting his fire. John, with a handful of wood lighting his fire. I'm like, you've got to be joking.
Well, we like to say we're the Kentuckiana, the Kentucky of Australasia, and there's no way you can have grass like Kentucky in south if you don't get a bit of rainfall. So we don't complain about it. We just take it when we do, and we don't have to worry about droughts very often. So, no, it's a good place to raise young horses to sell to people that want to race horses, no doubt about it.
There's no Photoshop involved with the grass underneath the horse's feet on you guys. That is the ridgy ditch grass that they're standing on, that's for sure. It looks.
What Photoshop? We've only just learned about the
You'll be right, John. We'll be all good by the end of it. Don't you worry about that. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I've appreciated your time, and hopefully we've raised the awareness of a few Aussies. Make sure they get onto the websites, check out SBSR on the Facebook page. Get the catalogues. If you need a catalogue, contact me. If you haven't got one, I've got them here in Australia, so just get in touch with me and I can get them to you as quick as we can. But the catalogue is online. It's very user-friendly, and make sure you register, but I'll be crossing off on all that with Cam going forward. Get registered early so you can not miss out on some of these huge lots that are going to be coming through this sale. Guys, thank you very much. If I don't talk to you beforehand, good luck, but I reckon I'll be talking to one of you or maybe both of you in about 10 days' time.
Okay, thanks very much, Paul.
Thanks very much. Okay, see ya.